In alternative medicine, we identify 3 types of adrenal function called adrenal types. They are adrenal type 1R, or responsive adrenals, adrenal type 2S, or stressed adrenals, and adrenal type 3D, or depleted adrenals. In response to stress, the adrenals secrete 3 major hormones. These are norepinephrine, epinephrine, and cortisol. Norepinephrine makes you more awake, aware, and focused. Epinephrine stimulates feelings of anxiety and instigates the desire to flee, to run, like the Dickens. Cortisol further increases alertness and hypervigilance by continuing to activate the central nervous system and brain. Cortisol also raises blood sugar so that the brain and muscles get the fuel they need to handle the stress response. When there's too much demand on the adrenals, it's the cortisol response that we see change. With healthy adrenals, there is a consistent 24-hour pattern to cortisol secretion. Cortisol is high in the morning upon awakening, drops during the rest of the day, and is low at night. Cortisol may go up at other times during the day, say if you went for a jog, but these spikes are temporary. This stage of normal cortisol activity is adrenal type 1R. The 1 is for stage 1 and the R is for responsive. It means that the adrenals are responding to stresses as they should be. So cortisol is going up when you have a stressful event, and it's serving you in the way it's supposed to. When we start to endure too much stress that doesn't go away, our cortisol level goes up and stays up initially. Here's what it looks like on a lab test that measures cortisol levels 4 times over a 24-hour period. Our cortisol level goes up, and instead of coming back down the way it's supposed to, it stays up. That's because the stress doesn't go away. Remember that cortisol makes the brain hypervigilant. High cortisol levels at night prevent the brain from shutting down for sleep. So high cortisol levels are the most often cause of insomnia. We call this a 2S pattern, or type of adrenal function. The 2 really means stage 2 after, or the second stage after normal adrenal responsiveness. The S stands for stressed, meaning stressed adrenals. Type 2S adrenals are how the adrenals try to protect us from chronic stress by maintaining high cortisol levels. Eventually, the adrenals are not able to sustain the demand for cortisol, and cortisol levels drop. Then you get a lab result that looks like this, where the cortisol levels are low in some spots, or even all across the 24-hour cycle. This is what we call adrenal type 3D. The 3 is the next stage of adrenal depletion after stage 2, and the D is for depleted adrenals. So what do we do with this information? How do you get your life back? How do you get your normal energy level back? Let me give you an overview of the alternative medicine's approach to reversing adrenal fatigue.